I have just hit record. So
Wow,
this is now recording.
that's awesome. Hello, future self. This conversation went very well. Wait, you already know that. Fuck. Wait, I can't. It doesn't help to say anything to my future self because I'm gonna be my future self later. Damn, I wish I had more shit on my wall. Neat stuff right there. Above the guitars.
Yeah. Hi, Lokeigh. I am saying your name so that it appears on the audio.
Yay! It's Yax Watson. What a pleasant evening it is to be with you.
Do you want to talk about one of your songs?
Which song did you have in mind?
I had not picked one yet. Let's check out Checking Out of the Neutral Milk Hotel, because that is one that I have started listening to, or I've listened to a bunch of times, and I feel like I've got a distant sense of what it's saying, but there are bits that make me think that I'm not sure whether I'm getting it correctly.
Ooh, oh man, that's another one that's got a lot of references to a lot of other people's songs. Oh, wow.
That's actually, that would be a super interesting thing to talk about, is just that the idea that you write a lot of songs that reference other artists that you know that are presumably going to be wildly inaccessible to the overwhelming majority of audiences in that capacity. And I think that's sort of fundamentally true of all art, is that correctly understanding art depends on understanding the context in which it was written, and it's always going to be impossible to provide sufficient material within the art to completely offer that context. So there's this weird sense of what is the line for the right amount of context, and I feel like it's just the cultural consensus is the line is exactly where I stop understanding.
Yeah, pretty much. And then if you find you get more understanding, you do, and then if you don't, you don't. That's so funny. There's this tweet. I don't know I can't recite it verbatim, but it's basically most people think that people make art now to get popular and get a bunch of likes, but really a lot of us are just making art for 3 people to try to impress them. And that's pretty much that's why I started writing songs. I think it was once I realized I could write something and then bring it to them, and then that will just have their attention. That was I just took that and ran with it. And so and then that ended up turning into a lot of my songs just being dialogues with people that I feel really deeply with, and that has as much as it has been very special and beautiful, it's kind of insane.
I mean, honestly, I think that making art for a mass audience is impossible. I don't think that it's doable. Every time I've tried to make art that is just for my audience, or make TikToks that are just for my audience, I have nothing. I have no idea. I have no idea what to write. I have no idea what they want to hear. I have no way of knowing after having created it whether I succeeded. If something I'm making is just for a particular person and I'm hoping to make that person smile, then when they react to it, I get to know whether I succeeded. And that's so much, it means the art is fulfilling, which makes it easier to keep making it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Exactly. It's your gauge for success is just right in front of you.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot with just you can't make songs universal really, and then I think of Jeff Rosenstock specifically because he's just one of those guys where it's I was on these cross streets with my best friend, and he lived down the street, and then we used to drink this type of beer, and then at 3:00 we would watch this movie, and just and that shit is so relatable. But it's so specific. But then when you try to be super vague, it's it just falls flat, and I just think that's kind of beautiful in a way. I don't know,
it's the audience is just listening yeah, I too have specific experiences. I really can't relate to vague.
Exactly.
My life is not nearly that vague. I am not relating to this vagueness at all.
Exactly. Yeah, because it just makes you think about, like, your cross streets and, like, your friend that lives down the street and the beers you drink with them. Like, I love it. What else was I gonna say? I think another thing is, like, you know, I think that humans are, some would say nosy, but I think that that's just, I'd say curious. We're curious about each other. And so, like, if we can, like, peek into people's lives through, like, reality TV shows or, you know, like, YouTube vloggers, TikTokers, day in the life stuff, or, you know, somebody writing really vulnerable lyrics, like, I think we're gonna, like, look into that. So, I started following, I watched a bunch of this guy's YouTube videos. He was, like, a YouTuber. His channel was about, like, how to get, like, jobs, like, in tech and, like, how to do well in tech interviews. But then he started talking about his personal life and his relationship with his, like, dad and just, like, the chaos of it all. And, like, I watched all of those videos and, like, I don't work in tech. I have no interest in working in tech, but I love that guy's channel because of his personal life. Like, I needed to know. Because through nosiness, we empathize.
That's what you're like, and I was like, that was a joke. I am starting to feel like it might be a good idea to just, like, put this on YouTube as, like, an interview.
Oh, yeah, oh my god.
Because, I definitely think I'm going to be able to get a TikTok out of this, but I also feel like there's going to be so far we have already had, like, you've already said more than a minute's worth of interesting things.
Ew.
I'm not sure how long we've been recording, but,
Wednesday,
I don't know.
baby, we could wake up early and escape.
I just looked at the window and I still don't know how long we've been recording because there's something wrong with the UI, so the text is coming up very small. I recently moved my computer and everything's fucked up now.
That's not true.
Yeah, I just need to, like, figure out how to fix every single thing about the way that my setup was duct taped together before.
Oh god.
Not literal duct tape, just, you know, jank. Like, I have a DV cable splitter that was connecting two of my monitors to the computer, and it just doesn't work anymore. So one of my monitors just doesn't work because I don't have two DV ports on the back of my computer, and I just bought a cable to attempt to daisy chain the central monitor to that monitor. That didn't work, so I now have another $10 cable that I don't need. I really want that one to work because it's the one that, like, swivels right over my bed, so it's the one that I could, like, set up to watch movies from bed with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about your music.
Yay! Oh my god.
So you recently put out an album of demos?
Yeah!
Called How to Kiss Your Analog Lover. The song that I wanted to talk about is Checking Out of the Neutral Milk Hotel / Don't Wanna Love Her acoustic ukulele. Because this one, I've listened to this whole album a bunch of times because I really like this album. This one, I feel like I have a sense of the basic idea of what it's about, I think, but it also feels like, and this is something I've felt with a lot of your songs, like, it feels like once I get a better idea of what the lyrics are, I'm going to discover serious misunderstandings in the way that I've come to understand, like, what this song is about. And I've already told you this tonight, but for the hypothetical audience, I didn't realize that the lyrics were up on the Bandcamp page until this conversation tonight.
Wow, so you're going in blind.
Yeah.
Wow. Fresh eyes.
I'm just going to read the lyrics because I have been struggling to remember what the melodies are as I read through them.
For sure.
The flesh of your spirit's been infected by the bad times, and your daydreams, they are powered by the steam that I instill. our love. Oh, I wish that we could talk over the love we found that day. I wish those pills taken sad lives instead could make our loved ones stay. Oh, I need to stop making wishes on the stars and other people's eyes. 'Cause if they're not falling for me, well then I'm just praying through vacant satellites. And I've smoked a million spirits as I've sat here longing, wishing 'cause there's no eternal sunshine. My mind's anything but spotless. It's littered with the image of your promises and lies. I swear I'll always love you, though you're miserable and thoughtless. Oh, wait for life, soil only gave me weeds. Oh, let them take root in a flower bed. I let them massacre my heart and head. And they love me better than you ever did. Oh, I wish the things that gave us life were easier to see. I hope you always remember all bliss stems from catastrophe. Oh, I need to stop making wishes on the stars and other people's eyes. 'Cause if they're not falling for me, well then I'm just praying to vacant satellites. No, I don't want a lover that I have to call. No, I don't want a lover that I have to call unempathetic. Unempathetic, oh, whoa. No, I don't want a lover on a pedestal, 'cause I always knock him down feeling like a fool. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic, oh, whoa. No, I don't want a lover that I have to call. No, I don't want a lover that I have to call. I don't want a lover that I have to call. Oh, whoa. No, I don't want a lover. I don't want a lover. I don't want a lover. I don't want a lover.
I can definitely feel the like density of context that I don't have.
Songs that's specifically for one specific person, and it's referencing a bunch of their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like the breakup song. Like this is the most breaky-uppest breakup song ever. Well, it's an I got broken up with song. It's an I got broken up with when I was 19 song. But yeah, I guess I'm really glad that you like the choruses, and I guess now that I'm an adult, I realize that song is about like not wanting to like project stuff onto people that like isn't there, which is weird because I didn't really like have that as like a like that didn't exist in my head, like that idea of that like I could, you know, just like be having ideas of people that like don't like actually have nothing to do with them and are just me. But
yeah, our brains are smarter than we are, and they think of stuff and write it down that we don't understand.
Yeah.
And that happened to me. The song that I wrote for my alt account that where I call myself out for not writing songs and putting them out there. I literally sat down to write a nonsense poem. Like, my intention was to write a bunch of disconnected thoughts that didn't relate to each other, just in meter to see what happened. And what came out was, hey asshole, you need to put some of your art online. It's killing you not to.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nonsense is the most clarity. That's where the clarity is in the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Mac Dre says, you have to get stupid. Stupid, doo-doo, dumb. And I'm kind of joking, like, you know, like, Mac Dre, he's a silly boy, I love him, but also, like, hearing that song and just, like, really, like, internalizing it from, like, an artist perspective, I was like, yeah, I shouldn't care. Mac Dre doesn't care, and he doesn't want me to care. So yeah, nonsense is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then another thing about this song is, it's referencing that Haley Williams B.O.B. song. We pretend that airplane in the night sky like shooting stars. I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Because that song was on the radio when I was writing this song. And, you know, I love making wishes and I love stars. And so I just love the idea of just, like, being deceived by something that's, like, not a heavenly body and just being like, oh, yeah, I've probably done that just based off of what's going on in my life right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I want to take a minute and try and, like, parse that chorus, because I really fucking love the line, I need to stop making wishes on the stars in other people's eyes, but I'm not quite sure that I understand what, because if they're not falling for me, well, then I'm just praying to vacant satellites means, because I read, like, or I was reading the stars in other people's eyes as meaning their attraction to you or their interest in you. But then if they're not falling for me, which I think is like shooting stars, and also if the person is not falling for me, then I'm just praying to vacant satellites. Because, like, vacant satellite sounds like you're also saying somebody who's just, like, has a huge crush on you and is orbiting you and, like, not really having a personality of their own. But then not falling for me suggests that they aren't into you. And I feel like I'm not getting. I feel like there's something going on there that I'm not getting.
I think where the disconnection is coming in has to do with the attachment style I had at the time, and the style that you know, other people that I attracted had, which is I love you, don't look at me. And so yeah, basically the stars in other people's eyes, it's not so much like attraction necessarily, it's more like the idea, like my 18-year-old self, like, hoping to be saved by somebody who, like, has positive feelings for me, not even that, like, likes me or is in love with me, but just has positive feelings for me. And so, and then, like, if they're not falling for me, totally shooting stars, because those are the things they make wishes on, but also, like, not being loved the way that you want to, which is, like, another, like, projection thing.
Yeah. And
then vacant satellites is just, like, the thing that you're projecting onto them not being there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the orbiting thing, though. I didn't even think about that. I was the orbiter then.
Oh my god, also satellites in the sky look like shooting stars sometimes.
Yeah!
I think that might have been one of the things that I was missing.
Oh, okay.
It is just that you're wishing on something that isn't what you think it is.
Like the Haley Williams song.
I really, in the first verse, how does that make your mother feel as she taps out the rhythm of the sewing needle, stitching up the battle scars and cuts from the double-edged sword that was our love? Holy shit. Like, holy shit. That's such a good line, or such a good verse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it here. Like, assuming I make this into a YouTube video, I'm just gonna play it because I want people to hear the way you sing that.
Oh, how does that make your mother feel? As she taps out the rhythm of the sewing needle, stitching up the battle scars and cuts from the double-edged sword that was our love.
But yeah, like, and that also, like, knowing now that you wrote this, like, as a teenager about teenage love makes, like, a lot of sense why, like, the person's mother being directly involved in like dealing with the fallout from that relationship. And I realize that there are people who have relationships with their parents that are good enough that their parents are still involved in their well-being after high school. But like for my intuition, it's like, yeah, mom's involved. That's school, like that's high school or younger.
It has nothing to do with maternal figures.
Oh.
That, yeah, okay. So this whole line, okay. Oh, so the name of the band that the person that this song is about, let's call them Dwayne. After Dwayne broke up with me, they started a band with the person that they cheated on me with. And the name of that band was called So the Flesh of Your Spirit. And all of those songs, or not all of them, but in my mind at the time, only a couple of them in actuality, those are all like breakup songs about me. And so it's like they're in this band with this person who is playing, they played a washboard. So it was like, I don't know, just like thimbles, like how you play thimbles on like a washboard.
Yeah.
And so like that, it was kind of like an allusion to sewing. Wait, hold on, I got a little off track. The Flesh of Your Spirit. Oh, so the band, the Flesh of Your Spirit. I'm not gonna say the band name again. I felt really weird just saying it, but you don't have to put that part in. But I just the band has a name that's related to ghosts and flesh, and it's infected by the bad times because all of those songs are about how bad our relationship was. And the daydreams, they are powered by the steam that I instill. That's also a reference to one of their songs, which is like, deep power daydream, dragging down the river upstream. There ain't nobody's left to be seen. It's a beautiful song. So it's like, yeah, like you're in a band with this person and you're singing all these songs, and I know that some of them are about me, and so it's like, how does that make your mother feel? Your mother, the band that the person that Dwayne was dating, the other band that they were in, their band name had the word mom in it. And so I was saying like, this mom person that's in your band, like they probably feel really weird because they're singing a bunch, they're harmonizing with you about like a bunch of songs that are about me.
So just putting a lot in this that is like not there because you're just referencing band names. It makes for a very Oedipal vibe that the mother is your ex's lover.
Yeah.
It also, like what you were saying about the attachment styles and like looking for somebody to save you. And like I think you said that like that was kind of like going both ways, like you both had that issue.
I think so. I don't think they would admit it, but I mean,
it would make a lot of sense to refer to their subsequent partner as a mother if that's what they're looking for in relationships.
Yeah, and actually that kind of was, I was also referencing that because the thing about the person that they were with after me is that they were like a lot more like, they were nicer than me. And I remember, oh god, this is a very shitty memory, but I remember being very drunk and I was yelling at this person, this mom person, and being like, they're gonna be so bad to you. You're gonna have to clean up after them so much. You're gonna have such a miserable. I was 19.
Yeah.
Very mentally ill. Not one of my best moments. And so it was kind of also like in reference to that and being like, yeah, you're totally gonna have to mom this person. You idiot. I want to be that idiot. I can't believe you picked this song. This is like this is a dark time.
Do you want to try a different one?
Oh no.
I wish our friends could talk over the love we found that day. I wish the pill taking sad lives instead could make our loved ones stay. So I don't know what that first line means. The second line is brutal.
Yeah. The first line is also very specific to a moment in my life. So the first time that this Dwayne the Rock songwriter and I kissed. I was like in a relationship with a different person and they were like really abusive. So like I was spoken for and I was hanging out with Dwayne the songwriter Johnson and like one of their band members and like you know there was like a thing kind of like going there was a vibe between The Rock and I and their band member could sense that, and so what they were doing is they were just talking, and they just like wouldn't stop like talking. just so like maybe that we would like get bored and just like stop hanging out, and then just like nothing would happen. So you're just listening to our friend talk because he didn't want this person and I to kiss. But then eventually he gave up, of course, because he got way too drunk. and then I kissed The Rock. So and then because of that kiss in that moment, like just a bunch of shit went down, and that relationship went forth. And so that's just kind of being like, man, like I wish that friend that was talking to like cockblock us essentially just like would have talked a little longer, then my life would be less dramatic. Oh my god, I've never told that story to anybody. I hope nobody I know watches this from that time.
I've smoked a million spirits as I've sat here longing, wishing, because there's no eternal sunshine, my mind's anything but spotless. I understand that line. It's littered with the image of your promises and lies. I swear I'll always love you, though you're miserable and thoughtless. So yeah, I think the only one there I don't understand is I've smoked a million spirits. Oh, is that American Spirits?
Yeah, it just sounds cool.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That verse is pretty cut and dry, I think.
Yeah, I think I just understand that verse fully. Well, your fertilized soil only gave me weeds. I let them take root in my flower bed. I let them massacre my heart and head, and they loved me better than you ever did. I don't get the last line.
That song is about joining Dandelion Massacre, the band.
Oh.
And it's about hanging out with like you know the people in that band and being like, oh, this is like what it feels like to be like respected, like this is like what happens when people are like kind to you and are like, you know, just like not like you know. And like I'm still friends with like everybody in that band still. Like Dandelion Massacre like is my family and they always will be. And yeah, and so basically I started hanging out with them a lot. We went on tour. That song is about being on tour with Dandelion Massacre. That verse, I mean. Basically this breakup happened, and then I moved out, and then like I ended up touring like a couple months later with them, and so it was just like the whiplash of like this like emotionally traumatic relationship, and then just like making art with these like beautiful creative people like on the road, and like it's my first tour ever, so I'm just like so yeah, that song is about or that verse is about being in Dandelion Massacre and being like, oh, fuck you, I've got these guys now, I don't need you.
I don't know if this like resonates in any way with the lyrics, but do you know why dandelions are considered weeds?
How come?
Because when and I'll throw a pop-up on here in the video if I'm wrong about this in any of the particulars or in the like whole story. I'll look it up later. But Monsanto, the agrochemical company that made Roundup, couldn't get their lawn pesticide to stop killing dandelions. So they just started an ad campaign to convince people that dandelions were weeds so that they wouldn't be mad that the weed killer was killing the dandelions.
Wait, so does that mean that dandelions have like only been weeds in like our lifetime, or like is Roundup like
since
older
like the
than
50s? I think it's the 50s.
How? Oh god, Monsanto's that old?
Let me Google it real quick. 1973. Okay, so not the 50s, but not within our lifetimes.
Ooh, I mean, our parents' lifetimes. Shit, that's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me so uncomfortable. Oh my god. I wonder if they know. Also, that is once again just like a very beautiful metaphor for just like capitalism being like, you have no value, and it's like, Yeah, I do. You just can't stop killing me.
I feel like that also makes the name of the band Dandelion Massacre an explicit reference to a historical crime of capitalism, which is just additional layers of punk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the member who came up with that name, he's really good at naming things, and they basically just wanted, like a juxtaposition of like a nice word and like a not nice word, but no, there's definitely something to that, and I hope he sees this and that he accepts the recognition for how cool he is about naming things and how anti-capitalist he is.
I wish the things that gave us life were easier to see. I hope you always remember all bliss stems from catastrophe.
Yeah, basically that's about. Oh wow, you're making me realize that there's like a journey of like finding God by realizing that I'm God, like in my songwriting, because like the things that gave us life were easier to see, because like if you could like see that God was real, then like maybe you would, I don't know, be less sad or something. Or not even, I guess that's what I meant at the time, but now I think of it as like like when you can like see the divinity in things, it like kind of motivates you to like keep that divinity going and keep going yourself. And then all bliss stems from catastrophe is I think that like unconsciously is also like another one of like my spells, like how I was saying earlier that like I want to write. I write things because I'm afraid that they might become true, so I'm like super careful. And so it's like if all of this catastrophe is happening, then like I'm declaring that bliss will come from it. And if we all remember that, then all of the bliss will come from the catastrophe you're suffering.
Yeah, and it feels, the way my brain immediately wants to take it is as a rejection of the prelapsarian fantasy. So it's kind of like a central idea of like Western philosophy and religion, and like the way that the West thinks about the world is that a long time ago things were perfect and then they got fucked up. There was a lapse. So like there's the prelapsarian ideal to which we are striving to return.
Make America great again.
Yeah. It's like every fascist movement is this. It's also like it's the Garden of Eden is the like most of the time when people talk about prelapsarian ideals, it is either explicitly or implicitly the Garden of Eden, and like the lapse was the lapse in judgment. But the idea is like things used to be perfect and then somebody fucked up and that's why things are bad, which is the opposite of how things actually work.
Yeah.
Things historically have sucked, and only through extensive effort have people made things somewhat better. And that idea of all bliss stems from catastrophe, saying that like the starting point is always explosive and imperfect and messy.
Yeah, completely. Oh my god, yeah, no, I just found out about that theory, but I'm totally rejecting it, and so does my past self. So yeah, no. Wow. Yeah, no, that really was being like, like Big Bang. I love space, especially then I loved writing about space and, stars and stuff, if you couldn't tell. And so, but yeah, no, I love that there's more anti-capitalism interpretations in there. I really don't like that shit.
And then we get the chorus again, and then I don't want to love it that I have to call unempathetic. I don't want to love her on a pedestal because I always knock him down, feeling like a fool. It's so pathetic. Don't want to love her that I have to call I don't want to love her.
That's another reference to another song by the person that I am singing to. They say that madness is an art form, not a death sentence. In the end, all my ex-lovers will say I'm unempathetic. Na, 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 na. So they have like a line about like people saying that their lovers will say that they don't have like empathy. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to be with somebody that like could be called that. And then I'm like, I don't want somebody that I have to pay attention to. And then I'm like, I don't want anybody.
I had read that, having not known all of that context, as sort of a callback to Analog Lover, which is the third track on this album, which we haven't talked about at all, I think, but just the my favorite thing about you is you don't look at your phone and see now we're apart and I'm feeling so lonely. Just the idea of like a lover who isn't constantly staying in touch with you through virtual space is someone you have to call.
Oh, wow. No, two different people wrote those songs, but I love that there's like a continuity in that, just with like the orders that the track listing like ended up. Cool.
It works less well than I thought it did now looking at the lyrics of Analog Lover, because I thought that line was the weird thing about you is you don't look at your phone.
My favorite thing. Yeah, because that song is about missing your friends during quarantine who like aren't terminally online like you are.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, which is amazing because now I'm dating somebody who has a flip phone and uses an iPod. It's weird. I feel like I like spoke them into existence. With a couple of these songs, actually, it's really creepy. I'd love to talk to you about it sometime. Not in where the eyes are.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, because of the parallels between the songs that I released and the person that I'm saying, it really like has like confirmation bias about like things, the things that I write becoming real. So that's probably really healthy for me.
Yeah, we've been talking for about 45 minutes. We have finished talking about this song, and I honestly would love to just do a recording like this for every song in the album.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would love that.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. It's a lot of fun talking to you about your lyrics.
Thank you. It's fun talking to you about my lyrics also. Like I don't know. Like I feel like you just like you get it. It's like we're like when we dream, we go to the same place.
Like that. Thank you so much for being on my YouTube channel and TikTok and whatever I'm doing with this video, which was not planned as content before we started recording.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for having me, wherever we are.
Yeah. Don't forget to click like and subscribe